What is up, guys? Welcome to Lone Star College Football. Today, we are going to be talking about a pretty big game coming up this week in between Penn State Nittany Lions going on the road to Michigan to play the Wolverines. We got Christian and we got Daniel over here. Daniel, what you think is going to go on with this one?
Man, I don't know about this game. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. Um, yeah, last year I felt like Michigan just got better and better every single game with maybe a slight mishap at Rutgers, and I'm not getting that feeling this game. I still don't really know where they're at. I mean, you just look at last week, Indiana. I felt like they were, not even better than Penn State at all for the first half, and then the second half, I think they could have beat anybody. So I don't know what to expect out of this team. Um, the stats are kind of weird for Michigan. I mean, we both know they had that cupcake schedule at the beginning. So the fact that they're in like the top 40 on offense and defense doesn't really tell me that much. It kind of tells me that when they're playing someone who's not very good, they destroy them. And when they're playing someone who has a little bit of fight, they let them hang around. And Penn State's going to have fight. Whether they can win the game or not is a different question. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at this just for a second, and the like you said, the first three games kind of don't really give you any kind of a perspective of what the team actually looks like. And I had high hopes for Michigan, and technically, y'all are 6-0, so you haven't let me down yet as far as win loss. I think I was not sure during the Michigan Maryland game. I wasn't sure if Michigan was just not playing well or if Maryland was actually kind of good. Maryland then goes to beat Michigan State the next week, but then they lose to Purdue last week. Iowa,
They
I
got robbed.
predicted y'all
Just to,
right.
just to put that out
Yeah,
there. They did get robbed.
yeah. I did pick y'all to cover against Iowa. Mainly though, that was just because I know Iowa's defense is pretty good-ish. Their offense is so bad, so y'all actually did cover on that spread, I think. And
Mm.
Indiana, yeah, 31-10 sounds like it's not close, but it was actually a closer game than that.
It was close coming out of halftime. So,
Yeah.
and then they kind of closed it out. Um, so if you want to know what I think is probably the most key stat for this game, and people say this all the time, but I think it matters more in a game like this. It's this right here,
I was going to
turnovers.
say, I bet it's going to be
It's
turnovers.
it's going to be turnovers. I mean, um, Penn State this year feels like a 2018, maybe not quite, maybe more like a 2017 Michigan football team where you're like, they can beat anybody as long as they stop freaking beating themselves, you know? And that's a scary team to play because sometimes 2017 Michigan came out and beat the ever living tar out of some team that had no business hanging around with. And then other times
Yeah.
in like a big game that really mattered, they just throw two interceptions, fumble the ball on the snap, and then the game's over, you know? And so Michigan doesn't have to. I'm not really worried about Michigan turning the ball over. I mean, JJ threw his first interception of the entire year this last game. You know,
Yep.
they've got maybe I think one or two fumbles. They're not they're doing great on turnovers. What Michigan needs to do is just force Penn State to turn over the ball. I think if this is a good, clean game, Michigan's going to be in a little bit of trouble. But on the other hand, I think Michigan is totally capable of that. I mean, Michigan's special teams play there has been rock solid. They forced fumbles. Uh, Not super happy with the amount of dropped interceptions we've had. I think it's like a 2-to-1 ratio. Ball is hitting guys in the hands and they're just dropping them. So we'll see about that. But turnover is the number one stat. And then the other stat is, can Penn State stop Michigan's run game? Um, I'm going to be honest
Yeah,
with
I
you. I don't
was
think we can stop Penn State's run game entirely. I think they're going to get at least 150, 175 on the ground. And that's because unless Michigan sells out, if Michigan sells out to stop the run, even Sean Clifford can throw on them. We're not good at that sort of decision making our linebacker is the weak spot. That's what we've learned over the last 6 games. Is that linebacker is the weak spot, and when those linebackers have to decide whether they're going to stop the run or go pass pro, that's when they struggle.
I mean,
So-
y'all's stats look pretty good as far as run
Yeah.
defense. Y'all are only giving up 81.7 yards per game. Y'all's pass defense is looking pretty good for being in the Big Ten. I mean, it's 165.3 yards per game. Like, y'all's defense looks stout, but it's, I mean, I don't know. All I
Again,
have
I
to
think
say,
the
it's not
stats are a
State.
little bit padded from
A
the
little bit.
beginning of the season.
That's true.
What
I want to know.
noticed
I need to
in-
go. I need to go look at JJ McCarthy's stats against those first 3 games because he's throwing for a 78% completion
didn't-
right now.
He didn't even start the first game.
Yeah, I was about to say the other guy started. I forgot his name, even though we
But
just-
120 passes. That's not a
No,
it's not a full season.
he's
But
pretty
goodness,
accurate.
78 is a lot. Only been sacked 4 times.
It's number one. in
But
FBS
y'all's
right
running
now.
back. Yeah, y'all's running back is impressive. 118 for 735, 11 touchdowns,
see
6.2
that.
average. Is that number 1? Is that number 1 in the country?
Rushing touchdowns.
11 touchdowns has got to be close.
I think it's
think
number 2.
Bijan-
He was number 1 last week, but then he got 10 touchdowns, and then this week he only got 1. So someone jumped. him, I
Bijan
think.
only has 10 rushing touchdowns.
Only
so,
10, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
true freshman Richard Reese has 7.
Yeah.
He's a beast. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The spread at 7. I don't know what I probably won't be picking on this game in our Lone Star Locks
We
pod
have to.
just because I do have to. It's a
Yeah.
big 6 game.
You got to, man.
I don't know. I don't even know where I'd probably lean on. I mean,
I'd probably wait to see how much it moves. To be honest, personally, I'll wait to see how much
Yeah,
it
but
moves until we
7.
record it. Because I don't know. Like it, I feel like it's gonna be a close game. I know that Michigan fans should be happy that it's not at Penn State because that would have been a whiteout.
yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah.
Definitely
I
been
have,
a whiteout.
I have bad memories. I have bad memories.
See, but hang on. Here's the thing, though. We look at Penn State, and last week they only beat Northwestern by 10.
Yeah, 7.
That game was played
Northwest-
in a blizzard, man. I think
Oh,
what
was
was
it?
like 9 turnovers total in that game.
In a
I mean, it
blizzard.
was ridiculous. Not a blizzard, but like tons of rain, sleet,
Oh,
wind.
I was about to say,
There was no
it's
There was no
warm
throwing
down
the
here.
ball that week. There was no throwing the ball. So just looking at Penn State's stats real quick, they're only giving up 79 yards per game against the rush.
I mean, it's 2 good run defenses for sure.
So, and here's the thing. So those 2 run defenses are pretty equal. I'm
Well-
positive that Blake Corum's a better running back than Noah Kane. I'm absolutely.
They've also only
positive.
played 5 games. Y'all have played 6.
So
Just to be fair.
yeah, well,
Against what looks to be a little bit better competition.
slightly better. Yeah,
A slight.
I mean,
Auburn's kind of trash this year,
Ohio.
but
Auburn's really trash. Ohio, Central Michigan, Northwestern. I would say that's a little bit better than Colorado State, Hawaii, and
it's better than that. But Maryland's definitely a better team, and
yeah,
I think
than Auburn. And yeah.
yeah. And obviously,
Purdue.
Iowa's defense is at least better. They're half of their team
Right.
is better.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I can't. That offense is so bad. It amazes me every week how bad they are.
The one
But-
thing I think that Michigan should really focus on, other than turnovers, because again, that's absolutely the key to the game, is they have to sell out to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit in the preseason. Like Michigan's got to sell out if they want to get a sack. They can't just, send 2 guys on the edge and get it. And that's been true for the last 6 games. They had, but when they've done that, I mean, they got 7 sacks against Indiana. I mean, when they sell out, they do get to the quarterback. Old man Clifford back there, I mean, he takes a beating pretty much every single season. And I know their O-line looks a little bit better than this year, but it is not up to Big Ten standards. It's not
Yeah.
any better than Indiana's or You know, they've got a better running back who's making something out of nothing, but their O line is not. You know.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just real quick. Me and Logan, we want to do our predictions because we have to do a locks pod. Real quick, the spread's at 7. I want you to pick it against the spread and give us a score prediction.
I'm gonna pick Penn State against the spread. I'm gonna give final score of say 27-21.
In favor of Michigan winning but not covering.
Yeah. So the spread right now is -7, right? So
yeah.
That's
I like that. I think that I'm gonna keep that in mind when I gotta make my picks of what the Michigan fan thought for sure. Well, hey, let's
I promise you, at least once this game, at least once, they're gonna be down, I don't know, 11 or something, and they're gonna go to kick a field goal and they're gonna fake it and they're gonna get a touchdown off of it. Either that or they're gonna miss it, and then Michigan's gonna absolutely cover the spread. One of those two things is gonna happen with James Franklin coaching. But he fakes at least, I think in every game we played against him, except for one, he's faked at least one field goal. So it's gonna happen. So I don't want to predict any scores that include field goals for Penn State.
Yeah.
Because they hate those.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let's we'll wrap this up and I just had to make a quick video. I think this is definitely a game of the week. Maybe not the game, but it might. If Bryce Young's not playing, this is probably the best game of the week.
Probably.
Unless Texas wins, then that would be my favorite game. But, anyways, Daniel, we do appreciate you hopping on and getting this, and we will definitely be hitting you back up. I mean, next week's Michigan State, but they suck. We'll definitely be hitting you up last week of the season, especially if y'all are both undefeated. That'll be a great game. So, yeah.
All right, well, y'all. Where I'm very sad.
No, we're gonna do a happy post game.
Yeah.
Y'all, if y'all made it this far, do us a favor and like the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all rocking with us.